I am an honorary New Yorker. I have spent 10 plus years living my life in New York City before I returned back to Texas. And I said this before, I will say it again. My mentor said to me that I was a Northerner born in the South. That is true. So today, as we talk about learning to love the company of you, I am speaking from a place of that honorary New Yorker. Because if there is any city that knows how to live alone as well as with others, it's going to be the Big Apple. What can I tell you? Hello and welcome to Ladies. Listen up. I am your host, Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack, and I am a loner. I am an introvert. I am an honorary New Yorker. And depending on what word I am saying, it slides out from time to time. So it is what it is. But beyond being a natural loner, I do enjoy people. As I have probably shared, I am an introvert with extrovert tendencies. I'm a welcome wagon. I love entertaining. I enjoy being around people. And then when my cup is full, people exhaust me. And so I have to step away. But the cool thing about coming into my own, doing this journey of moving towards a better version of me, living in my authenticity, doing all of that in New York City, is that it was a playground designed for the party of one. When you go to the McDonald's, there is a countertop with tons of bar seating right in front of the window because people are eating as individuals. You don't mind going to the movies by yourself. You have smaller tables because it's probably going to be a party of one. It's a more common thing. Whereas when you go to other metropolitan cities, they tend to have a design geared towards groups of people, not the party of one. But here's the deal about that journey to being a better version of yourself. You're going to find yourself as you grow and as you really hone in on what you stand for and those values that are your non-negotiables. You're going to find yourself outgrowing some people. Now, I used to think, this is past tense, I used to believe that the people I attended college with would be the people that I would stay in contact with for forever, if you will. Because we were all at this same point in our life, coming into a different age. And a lot of times situations will create this bond. Whereas anyone I knew in elementary school or junior high or high school, I'm not even close to being that person. Not even close. We are like night and day. Very, very dark over here. Very dark. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. My closest friends are people who I didn't meet at a certain time in my life who have grown with me. And that's hard by itself. But when you start changing, when you start looking at life through a different lens and making those positive changes, everyone around you isn't going to be excited for you. So, sidebar, I have to say this because it tends to come up when I'm talking with people about changing, and they are, I'm going to say, mildly upset that their family, their friends, the people that they will say love the most or admire the most or want that person's admiration. They don't applaud them and they don't root for them. And so they're upset. They are emotionally upset. So I'm going to go back to an old lesson that I've said many times before. Everybody is not your friend. Now that's one. But more importantly, the dream that you are working towards, that is your dream. And the only person who cares about that dream is you. And rightfully so. It is yours. We have this, I don't even know where it comes from. Maybe it's a childlike belief, a childlike dream that our family should be our biggest cheerleaders and supporters. I'm going to blame the movies. I'm going to blame TV. I'm going to blame the movies because it has to come from somewhere. Somewhere we got this idea, and I'm going to say TV did it. TV and the movies did it, that when you are in school, you've got your dreams, you've got your mother and father right here beside you, cheering you on. Yeah, Billy, you got it, Billy. We love that white picket fence, 3-room house, dog in the front yard idea. We love it. It is a childlike belief that your dreams are just as important to everybody else as they are to you. They are not. And that's not to be mean about it. It's not to be rude. But that's your priority. It's not anybody else's. So to assume and want your loved ones to be there for you, I know it sounds awful, but that's another awful assumption. It's an assumption. Your biggest supporter should be you. You should be your biggest cheerleader. Hands down, point blank, and period. It should be you. See, we put a lot of expectations on other people. We expect a lot of people to fill in the gaps for us that we have not done the job for ourselves. We expect them to show up for us. We expect them to return the favor of supporting my endeavor. We have all these crazy expectations, and I say they're crazy because they have this childlike mentality attached to it. It's a dream, it's a facade. And a couple of things, really, a couple of things. They're just assumptions. You know, family is chosen. It's also given to you. Like the people you share your DNA with, okay, technically, legally, they're your family. Scientifically, we are related. However, you can choose your family. You can choose your cheerleaders. You can surround yourself in a community with people who are just like you. It's a choice. It's a choice. Have I ever had to shake off the why does my family not support me? I don't understand why nobody's like showing up for my gigs. I don't understand why no one comes in. Yeah, we have done that work. We have done it. Now, as a business owner, I learned that my family is not my target client. So there goes that. I don't have to worry about that. They're not my client. And as I always say, you cannot lose what you never had. Never my client, I've lost nothing. But when you realize that the only person who really and truly needs to support you 100% of the time and be the biggest cheerleader, the biggest hype man, hype woman, hype person is you. It changes the game. It changes the game. You know how they say it's lonely at the top, but there's a reason. Because when you are growing, you are sometimes outgrowing the people that are around you. And that's not a horrible thing. It's not bad at all. It is not bad at all. So let's dive into standing alone. When I moved, because it's past tense, but I'm feeling pretty good about the group I have now. When I moved towards being Gwendolyn and being the beautiful woman that I am, I noticed people were changing around me because I'm changing, but I'm looking at them through a different lens and they're just not looking the same. The words they're saying just doesn't resonate with me. And the energy is just not vibing. It's just not. Now, this is not to say, what was that phrase? People are like low vibration. That is no. This is to say that when you are with people who pour into you, who are of like mind, not groupthink, but like mind, you can't help but be elevated and inspired and want to do more amazing things. You got a great cheerleader squad here. You're part of that pep squad. But you can find yourself outgrowing the people who are still stagnant, static. It's not that you don't want to be in their company. But you know what I can't do? I can't do people who complain all the time. You know how, like, whenever you see them, the first thing beyond, hey, how's it going, is, well, this is going awful, and this is going awful, and this is horrible, and then this happened. They just complain. They are emotional vampires, suck all the life out of you. It's like you got up this morning, you have a job, there is gas in your car. How could you possibly be complaining for the next 10 minutes? How is it possible? Nothing great happened to you today. Nothing great. Nothing. Debbie Downers. I feel bad for Debbie because I know some really beautiful Debbies. Yeah, I can't do those people. I can't do emotional vampires. My energy, check it, that inner peace, we protect it. We protect it. So there are family members that I just won't even bother going around. Can't do it, won't do it. Not even can't. I will not. Will not partake in such foolishness. We're not going to do it. When you're changing for the better, you're going to have moments of standing alone. You're going to be by yourself. It is lonely at the top for a reason. Now, I am not a person who promotes the hustle and grind mentality. You ain't got to work that hard. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I live an 80-20 life, okay? I believe in putting out the most viable product because it will serve my customer. They will get what they want, and then I could just upgrade it as life goes on. But perfectionism does not live here. No, it does not. But I do know that as you grow into being the person you want to be, you're going to outgrow your current social circles. You're going to outgrow some people. There are going to be some people who don't want to hear about your latest, greatest adventure. Or let me take it back. They will be cordial. They'll give you like 5 minutes. So what are you doing? Oh, well, I'm working on this thing. I'm so excited. This opportunity came, and then blah 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 happened, and this happened. Oh, okay, that's good. So the other day I was doing this and doing this and doing that and blah 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 yada yada yada. You're like, oh, so we're not going to even. Ugh. Those are emotional vampires too. People just want to call and talk about themselves. Yeah, yeah. I give them all the 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I have someone else I need to talk to, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. But not everybody's going to be excited for you. And again, that's okay. It is not their job to be excited for you. It's not. We should stop depending on other people to fill in those gaps for us. If you are not hyping yourself up all over social media, who's supposed to do it? Right? So on my social media pages, there's a lot of Gwendolyn. It's a lot. I share myself, obviously, through posts, through video, in my stories. I quote myself. I share it on my other accounts. I am all over the place. You have to be your biggest cheerleader because it's lonely at the top. Now, you're going to be by yourself for a little bit, and it's okay. As a matter of fact, I encourage it. I encourage standing alone. I encourage taking time to be in your own company. Some of us don't like our own company. Some of us don't. I love my own company. I love it. We have a great time. Me, myself, and I have a great time. We're a beautiful thing, a beautiful party. Some of us have never been alone, either in a relationship, either in any kind of major situation for ourselves. We've always had a partner. And so we come to rely on that through our entire life. It's like a binky. It's like a blanket. It's like Linus and his blanket. You have to learn to be by yourself. You want to learn to be by yourself. You want to learn to be your biggest advocate. That should be you. So you're asking yourself, how do you survive this transition? Because if you are a person who is an extrovert and you get your energy from other people, that's how you get your energy. You may be on empty for a little bit because you're like, I'm not understanding. Well, this is where knowing who you are comes in. And knowing who you are in terms of finding the right community for you. Now, not everybody who likes the same things or has similar interests, they're not like a tribe, right? But you want to find a community that allows you to be your best self, show up authentically, and to grow. Not people who are going to put you in some sort of groupthink situation, because you don't want that. You're not folks who are going to, on the sly, throw shady remarks and things of that nature. You don't want that. You want people truly of a like mind who are growing and are possibly on their journey to being their better selves. Now, I have an accountability group. There's some really cool people. They are some really cool people. We get together and we bounce ideas off of each other. Now, let me just say this really quick. The idea of this group is not for them to have this sort of boot camp style. You got to get it done. Why don't you get it done? You should get it done. No, that is not it. They're a sounding board. It's like, you know what? I was doing this. It didn't get done. Ugh. It's like, well, you know what? You have next week. You have next quarter. Put it on next quarter's list of things to do. Or how can you break down this task to get it done and not overwhelm yourself? They're a great sounding board. But are we doing things? We celebrate all the wins. There are no small wins. Can I please say that really quick? A win is a win. They're not big wins or small wins. It's a win. You put out a video. 2 people watched it. Yes. Because last week I put out one and nobody watched it. A win. You put out a newsletter. 8 people actually clicked on it. That's a win. See, we all have our ideas of what success is. It is not for me to tell you or for anyone to tell me how to define success. It's not my place. But you want people who are going to help nurture you through the change, as well as step away so that you can be alone. It's okay to be in your own company. Now, personally, I am never alone and I am never lonely. Never. As far as I'm concerned, I got the good Lord by my side. I always got a great partner. But if you want someone to ride with you through this journey, then look for a community where there is equal benefits for all parties involved. There is nothing worse than having someone come in who just takes and never gives. Group projects. I know you all remember them. I know you remember them. I hated them in high school, hated them in college, and I hated them in the workplace. Because there's always somebody who doesn't do the work. And what we're not going to do is fail. So you pick up the slack. It's never a great thing. You want equal benefits for all parties involved. That's the goal. But being comfortable alone is a blessing that a lot of us need to wrap our arms around. Society tells us that we must be less than if we don't have a partner, if we don't have some significant other to give us value. You've seen it. You've seen those ridiculous comments that if you're a 30-plus-year-old woman, a 40-plus-year-old woman, and you're not married yet, you're damaged goods. Something's wrong with you. Okay, forget that maybe that person never wants to get married. Forget that. Because clearly every woman wants to be married, clearly. But society will tell you that something's wrong with you if you don't have a partner. And there are a number of people out there who jump from relationship to relationship to relationship because they have never been alone. And the idea of being alone frightens them because they'll have to sit with themselves and they'll have to see what's really inside. It can be a scary place. It can be. It doesn't have to be. Being alone is not less than. It's not second tier. Being alone, that's strength in numbers. It is strength in numbers. There is this clear mind. There is a very focused path. When you know that you can do this on your own. And let's face it, a lot of these dreams that we have for ourselves, there's some tough roads ahead. And asking your partner to come with is a beautiful thing. Trust me, my husband is an amazing partner. So I'm not knocking that. However, he met me when I was doing this alone. Because it's my dream. These are my wants, my aspirations. And for that, it's going to be me doing the work by myself. With a community, on the sideline, waiting to help me out if I need it. So now, are we ready to do the work? Before I met my husband, I went on my second hiatus of dating myself. And it always happened right after I dated somebody, and it was like a waste of all of my good time. I would go back to the drawing board and say, okay, Gwendolyn, we got to figure out something here. Let's go back and figure it out. And so I would date myself. We went out to the movies and the museums and to restaurants in the day and at night. We enjoyed time by ourselves because this set the stage for what was to come in the future. When people say, and I don't know where some of this comes from, so I'm just like, I'm reading things on the interwebs. But when people say my partner needs to make $400,000 and they need to shower me with diamonds and full stop. Is that what you do today? Like, are you making $400,000 right now? Are you showering yourself with gems and jewels? I mean, just like, where does that come from? Now, I'm not saying that you can't want whatever you want. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it. However, before you go asking someone else to do all these things for you, I'm going to rightfully assume that you're already doing those things for yourself. That you have set the stage for what your lifestyle is. And you've set the stage for when I go out to dinner, these are the places that I go. I go to this steakhouse. I go to this restaurant. I go to this lounge. I go to this. Because the idea isn't to change yourself when you meet your partner. Remember, compliments. We're complementing each other. We're not changing. Now, quick side note, you should grow together your relationship. But again, different topic, different day, right here. So when people say, I will let someone who's driving XYZ car and yada, 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 and someone's going to upgrade me, it's like, it's not my place to judge those people, so I'm not going to judge them. I'm just saying, if you're wanting something, the assumption is you're already living that life, and so, but whatever. Focus. So learn to enjoy your own company. Take yourself out. And even if somebody walks up, because I've had it, people walk up and can I join you? The answer is no. That seat's taken. That's me. That's myself. We're good. You're doing this by yourself. You want to learn to enjoy your own company, and you want to learn to treat yourself well. You want to learn to wine and dine yourself, court yourself. Recall what that feels like. Recall what it looks like. So if it happens to show up, it's not a stranger to you. You're accustomed to a certain way of treatment. Remember, the way you treat yourself is the way you teach others how to treat you. They're going to follow your lead. They're going to follow your lead. So lead them well. And with that, as we always say, because this is an ultra marathon, I told you it's an ultra marathon. We're not going to sugarcoat that. Be sure to give yourself the space and grace to grow and learn.